So far in your career, you played for teams that did not have winning records. How do you feel joining this roster, who's been a winning team for a long time now?
Right. I have been to the finals, so I do want to put that out there. I haven't been on losing teams my whole career. So that experience in the playoffs was what drove me to want to come here. Being in LA, we weren't very good, as you know, and then once Bron left Cleveland, we weren't very good. I'm a guy that's been dying to get to that stage again. The playoffs is what basketball is all about and what we dream about as kids. So, I know for a fact I'm ready for that stage again, and that was a big factor in my decision to come out here, in wanting to come out here. This team's been in the playoffs for 8-9 years straight, the longest consecutive streak in the NBA standing, I think. And that's that was important to me, and so I'm excited to play whatever role, how big or how small these guys deem necessary for me to do to get back to the playoffs and hopefully deepen the run.
Larry, welcome to town again.
Thank you.
Damian and CJ command such respect around the league from different players. Your vision of them from the other side and joining that is what?
So, as a defensive mind, coming in to play these guys was always a nightmare. Because you have to pick up both of them so high as soon as they cross the court, cross half court. So, those two are, top two, if not top one, backcourt in the league. They're incredible, and they have been for the past few years. And like I'm going to keep saying, whatever they need me to do is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to be, tremendously helpful when teams start to blitz either one of those two, blitzes and trap them. I think that's where I'm really going to help on the defensive end or on the offensive end is, making plays going downhill 4-on-3 once those guys gets trapped. So, I've thought a lot about it, and this is going to be a really good fit for me.
Aaron Finchers.
Welcome to Portland. And Norman Powell said to me that when he played with Toronto, they never worried about how they were going to score in Portland. Chauncey Billups said the same thing about coaching with the Clippers. They never worried about how they were going to score against Portland. What were your impressions of Portland's defense last season from playing against them? And how do you think Coach Billups can change that impression? And how do you think you add to that mix as well?
Well, I'd have to just kind of reiterate what those guys said. It was never, where are our points going to come from in playing this team? It was always, how are we going to keep them from scoring 140? And oftentimes the answer was you don't, which is why they're a playoff team for so many years. But the first thing when I got traded and, the first conversation I had with Chauncey is like, hey, look, this team was a 6th seed in the Western Conference, which is a monster of a conference, and was 28th in defense last year, which is, if you think about it, a ludicrous stat. It's ridiculous. And so he goes, that is, that's my main focus is, we have these incredible offensively gifted guards, and if we can surround them with guys that we don't have to be number one in defense, get us to the middle of the pack or slightly above. Have a number 3 offense and a top 10 defenses. That's a recipe for success. And so, that's one of the things that I'm here to do. Last year before I had some unfortunate injuries, I was leading the league in steals. We in Cleveland had gone from the 30th defense in the league to the top 3, before I got hurt. So that is my main focus, and that's what I'm here to do.
Hey, Larry, you touched on it. You did have that one season where you went to the finals. What can you talk about, that experience and, bringing that experience to this team, a team that's looking to go to the finals?
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing I took away from that was just the hunger of getting back. When I went, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for the playoffs. I wasn't ready for that stage. I just wasn't there. And, I hadn't played any meaningful games before getting traded to a playoff team. So, it's hard to describe it, but it doesn't feel like it's not regular basketball. it's so much of like every single possession, every pass of the ball, every cut you make on offense matters. Everything is just that much more amplified and important. And, you know, that's really what we're all here to strive to get to, right? Like, nobody plays the game just to, like, yeah, you know, it's great. I'm fine. You know, I'm okay not making the playoffs every year. No, nobody says that. You know, you don't get to this level with having that kind of mindset. So, you know, the thing I can bring from that finals trip is just a hunger and drive to get back. And I know these guys already have it. You know, they've been to the playoffs and been close. You know, so I'm just looking forward to adding to it. I'm looking forward to, you know, like I said, I'm going to keep saying, if they need me to play 2 minutes a night, terrific. If that means we're winning. If they need to play 30 minutes a night, terrific. As long as we're winning, I don't care. So I'm here to do whatever it takes.
Welcome to Portland, man.
Thank you.
It had to be, you know, a bit bittersweet to leave home. Read the heartfelt note that you put out there. But on the flip side, how excited are you to live in Portland? What do you know about the fan base here? And do you plan on being active in the community? That seems to be a real staple for you. So I'm curious about that, more off the court than anything.
Right. No, I like that. Yeah, so like, you're right. Leaving Cleveland was not easy. Not easy at all. You know, my dad played there. His jersey's retired. Our family just has so much history with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you know, making the decision to you know, want to move to a team like this is, you know, was very bittersweet. And I still have nothing but love for that franchise. I hope they win every game except two. Of course, November 3rd and January 7th. I've already got them written down. But you know, with that being said, yeah, I can't wait. You know, Portland is the kind of place that I feel like I fit in more. Ohio is a little bit behind in the times, whereas Portland is progressive and very forward thinking, and I love that. You know, I love that. So I think I'm going to fit in a whole lot better here. That was a lot of what I did in Cleveland in terms of working with community was, you know, working on getting people to turn up to vote, working on, you know, there's a bill that we were working on in Ohio where you can still be discriminated against for being LGBTQ in the workplace, and it, you know, and so that's the type of stuff that I was doing in the community in Ohio that I don't necessarily have to do here. So I'm really gonna keep working on that out there, and you know, where I need to step in here, I definitely will make my voice heard. But you know, another thing I'm excited about, to be honest with you, is the soccer games. I'm a massive soccer fan, so like the Timbers and the Thorns, like I'm already looking forward to taking my daughter to the Thorns games, and you know, so I'm excited to get immersed into that. But you know, these fans are some of the best in the league. I hated playing here when I was with the Lakers. I hated playing here when I was with Cleveland, because you know the fans were just going to be breathing down your neck, and you know, that's one of the things I'm most excited for, is like those fans that I just. You hate them as an opposing team. You hate them because they're just on you all game. And now, great. I can't wait for teams to come here because they're going to be on them all game. And you know, they're going to have my back now. So I'm really excited to be on the flip side of that.
Hi, Larry. Jason Quick. Drawn back to your time in Cleveland when you guys went to the finals, you know, they always say that, you know, those type of teams that reach the finals, there has to be some level of sacrifice. On a team like this, the Blazers, where there's a lot of talent, there's probably going to have to be some sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Can you maybe draw back on your experience with Cleveland and what you learned about sacrifice and what it looked like for you?
So, no, you're right. Any playoff team, any good team, there's sacrifice, you know, made by everybody. And it looks like different things for different people. But, you know, for instance, when I got traded to the Cavs, you know, I playing a lot right away. You know, I was like his new toy. You know, he's throwing me lobs and seeing how high I could jump. It was awesome. And then, you know, we got to the playoffs, and then, you know, that heated kind of atmosphere, that you know, the intensity of it was like, all right, my role came, was toned back a little bit, and it was more of the guys that they'd been there with before, the Kevin, the Tristan, the JR, which they had been to four or five straight finals. That's who should play. But if I was not bought in, I'd have been kicking and screaming about not playing as much. I played, I think, 25 minutes a game our first series against Indiana, and we won. The next series against Toronto, I didn't play at all. And then against Boston, I played again. So, it's something that like you said, there's going to be sacrifice. You just have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that could be sometimes sacrificing your own minutes, your own shots. And, that's nothing that I'm not familiar to.
Okay, last question, Casey Holwell.
Welcome again, Larry.
Thank you.
Chauncey has talked about accountability, particularly on the defensive end, and as a guy who's been in a couple different locker rooms prior to coming to Portland now, how do you feel like that manifests itself? Or do you feel like players are generally receptive to kind of those conversations about, like, what he talked about, putting an address on it, and really, like, being definitive about what happened and maybe who needed to be better in that moment? Like, how do you feel like that goes over as a guy who's been around for a while?
Yeah. As a whole, players know. Like when we're on the court and you get beat, but there's also a certain level of care that has to come with a good defensive team. And, whether you got beat or whether you need help, you have to care. You have to try to be better and to try to, guard your yard or whatever they say, right? So, as a defensive-minded player myself, I look forward to it. If I mess up, hold me accountable. Let me know, like, hey, Larry, we put you on DeMar DeRozan. We put you on Jason Tatum for a reason. We put you on Kawhi or LeBron for a reason. Stick with them. Don't let them have that. And I love that. I invite that challenge. And that's the defensive mindset we all kind of have to adopt. And I think that's what Chauncey's going for going forward is the accountability of, you got beat, fix it. But when you get beat, or if you get beat, we're all here to help you. But you should never be getting beat. Individually, we should never be getting beat. But just in case, we all got your back. And I think that's should be the sum of our defense.
Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Larry.
Appreciate it, guys.